Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is the 11th of November, 2015, and you're watching Heroes Untapped. Welcome to the show. I'm Discocnur, your host, and joining me this evening are my two amazing co-hosts. First, we have the international man of mystery, Fniatch. How you going, Fniatch? Good sir today.
Doing good, doing good.
And also joining me is my second co-host as well. I do have the... He's a fighter, he's a rider, and I bet he's a lover too. It's a Blue Aura from XL5.
How long did it take you to come up with that one?
That was about 30 seconds at work.
I'm good.
All right, awesome. And so, of course, this is the Post-Blizzcon episode of Heroes Untapped. It's an amazing show. I mean, we just got so news, considering the last couple of weeks have been pretty flat, to be honest. We just got so much to talk about tonight. We've even got some revitalization in the scene, and there's a cool event coming very, very soon next month. But before we talk about that, I do have two amazing guests as well on the show tonight to just fill out the panel and just give some really good opinions and views on the state of the game. First off, we have Happy Rage, the XL5 team manager for Heroes of the Storm, and pretty much one of the biggest event organizers in the scene. Happy Rage, welcome to Heroes Untapped again.
Biggest? Morton's beating me at the moment.
Well,
I'm not standing a chance.
Biggest in number. Let's call it number of events run. Number of events run.
Alpha days.
That's it. And also, as my secondary guest, XL5's got a bit of strong representation tonight, as we've got a Benjamin as well. It's our newest member of XL5, if I'm not correct, or you guys still in trial phase, or have I gotten my players completely wrong?
Currently, X5's on a bit of a break, actually. So
Yep.
I was a trial, so nothing official, you know.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah.
And you're just consistently playing, but nothing official just yet. But it's still to say you are becoming one of the biggest competitors in the scene. The fact that you haven't failed your trial with XL5 yet, it's got to say something.
Guess we could say that.
Well, it's all about it's all about importance, what perception, something like that. I don't know words. All right. Anyway, let's get into it. It's a big show, lots of news to talk about, and I think one of the biggest things, because we've haven't had any events for a little bit of a while, a couple of weeks now, is the Kings of ANZ 2015. So while it may not be the right way to say it, it's I'll just say the question's always been asked: who is the best team in the ANZ region? We have a lot of discussion, debate on this, especially since we're in a situation where some teams are pretty dominant. But is that because we only have knockout tournaments? Well, not anymore, because we have the Kings of ANZ, a tribute, or at least I'm going to call it tribute tournament to the Kings of Alpha, being run by our good sir Happy Rage. It's going to be a round-robin event. No prize, no money, just pure glory. Happy Rage, tell us about your Kings of ANZ, hopefully happening in December.
It's actually just a test of format because
just ruined my big introduction.
Yeah.
That's the biggest event of the year.
Not really, but with ANZ Championships earlier this year, like the Road to BlizzCon, all that stuff, people complained that stacked brackets were a problem, and people had the easy way into the championship, and other people had diverse harder teams, and they deserved to be there, but they didn't get there because they had diverse immunity and blah 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 blah. So basically, I'm testing this format to be a seeding process. So everyone plays a round robin ODC to determine who the best teams are and seed based off that for the elimination tournaments.
Yep.
But it's just a test to see if whether it works or not.
All right, so that's actually a pretty cool idea, is that it's testing your own format out for events next year, I assume, in that regards, and also for seeding. So this event here, for any of the teams that continue to compete in 2016, are you saying that this is their seeding rights here?
No. It's just testing to see whether it does actually have like a proper dictation of what I believe the top teams are.
Yeah.
So whether that does that at a fairly successful rate, then I can go, all right, well, next year before tournaments we can do this again, and then we can have seedings based off of that. But nothing's official. Like, this is just testing to see whether it works or not.
All right, so it's possible we're going to see another tournament like this very early next year, and just purely for start of seeding.
Yeah.
The start of the harvest. I like it.
It's just to see whether it works or not. For all I know, it doesn't work.
Not testing purposes. I'd say it's pretty brave. It's a tournament. You're doing it for testing. It's a round robin. It's a big day. Like it's potentially if you had 12 teams sign up, round robin, that's like 11 rounds of games.
Yeah, it is probably going to be changed to a best of one, depending on how many teams sign up. Like future, when there's like heaps of teams going in for the BlizzCon, for championship shit next year, then I'll drop it down to best of one then. But this is just to see whether it works.
Yeah.
And I figured best of one might go too quick.
I mean, like I said, it's still potentially a lot of games, long time, and no prizes. Obviously, no prizes, no money. It's all glory.
It's more as well. Teams sign up, they get knocked out round one, and they sit watching there for the rest of the day. They can actually keep playing.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely would be good for teams to get a couple of actually literally every round of gameplay in. It's nice, and you know what? A team could actually come third or fourth from that. Sure, can't beat XL5, can't beat say the XL5s, the Apexes, the whoever else is around at the moment. Everyone's so quiet, but points wise, they could actually still get third or second, or maybe even first. Yeah, we can't beat XL5, but we can beat all the other teams, and because of a couple of surprise upsets, who knows? I mean, I love it. I think it's potentially going to be a great format. I'm concerned it's going to be a long friggin' day, that's for sure. But I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great to watch. Everyone having a fair round. We'll just open up. Benjamin, what's an event like this you feel might do something for, let's say, your potential team XL5? Do you think you guys may form up? Like, I know you're inactive at the moment. Are we going to see you guys in the Kings of ANZ?
Oh, of course, it's always good to enter any competition at all. There's a lot of people. I know a lot of people say they want to play for money, but just for the competitiveness, bragging rights is always good, and just to get a feel of like what everyone else is doing is really good. And it's just like treat those kinds of tournaments as like a scrim, really. If there's no prize, but it's still at the end of the day, even if you win or lose, you learn something.
And it's going to be a whole load of games all at once as well, and that's a big thing to take away. Sometimes a game here, a game there, you can't. It's hard to learn from one game. But when you have 11 games in a row, you can go, wow, we're not soaking by the end of the 11 games. Like, well, at least now we soak our lanes, and the level disparity is not as great. So sometimes just a whole load of games can really help you get on that mindset, practice what you're talking about every single time. So I think I agree with you. Definitely be good for teams to get in on it. Do you have any concerns about the format?
Not really. Like, the biggest issue when it comes to long tournaments like that is more the teams themselves stalling out. Like, some newer teams not understanding how the drafting goes, and like if we just had preset maps already decided for each round, make the day go a lot quicker, I presume. Like, that's where a lot of wasted time goes, organizing, adding people on enemy teams.
Yeah, the organization and the administration.
Teams going AFK for 10 minutes after just one game because they need a break, but like, it comes down to a competition, you really can't be doing that. Like,
mate, they should have a bottle strapped to their leg.
Yeah, like,
so the mum sitting in the background with a piss bucket. Mum. All right. We'll just opening up anyone. Fniatch. What from a new player's perspective, right? So you only really came onto the scenes with this year. You ended in one of the APOG tournaments with. Were you on Team Tyrael? Was it Team Tyrael?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, look at Tyrael, 100% win rate at the moment, and you're on Team Tyrael. I mean, there's a connection here. Heroes Untapped, mate. You're just winning, progressing.
Yep. Hope so.
What about from a new player? Something like this. I mean, potentially a lot of people may look at this. Kings of ANZ, relate back to that Kings of Alpha. Saying the word king as well, it's a bit prestigious. It's and listen, there's nothing else involved in this tournament, is there? There's no money, no cash. What about yourself from a new player's perspective? Is that possibly daunting?
I don't think so. I mean, since you're not playing for money anyway, I think the prestige, the title of being King of ANZ is, I mean, it's well deserved if you play through the thing. And I like that Happy Ray just coordinating something that's different in terms of like the structure of the games and competitive matches, because we're gonna need that for next year. We're gonna need our own sort of, specific tournament style for our region.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's a follow-up discussion as well. It's big announcement from BlizzCon upon the state of esports next year for Hero of the Storm, which is huge, and that almost might be a really good segue So it's Blue. I'll throw this one at you. Have you seen what's happening next year for Heroes of the Storm?
I've seen bits and pieces. I looked into the heroes. The show notes definitely helped. I wanted to quickly touch on the Kings of the. I default to Alpha. The tournament. Yeah, it's good. It's a fun little thing to have the title.
The Kings of Post-Alpha is what you could call it. Happy Rage.
That's it. Me and the Five Hype boys still joke around with our title. We like it, so it's good. But as for the heroes, I can't wait. Is it Cho'gall? How do you pronounce it?
Cho'gall.
Cho'gall.
Yeah.
Like
oh my
seagull.
god, he's going to be so much fun. Whether or not he's competitive, which I think just because of one ability, he's going to be insane. But yeah, he's going to be so much fun. And I reckon that is one of the things that Blizzard have needed to drag some players in. People are going to see that through the other games and go, wow, that's pretty cool. Let's check this game out.
It's just so different, isn't it, Cho'gall? It's so we'll go on that. So anyone that didn't watch BlizzCon, or apparently doesn't read websites, or doesn't watch videos or anything, if you've been living under a rock for the past about 72 hours or something, Blizzard announced a new hero coming very, very soon. We suspect it's going to be November 17th, next week, in the next content patch. And this hero is Cho'gall. Now, he's an interesting hero. It's just to let's take a little bit of a step back. So we've got Abathur, the character that no one technically plays because you're AFK on him. Then you've got the Lost Vikings, which one player plays 3 different heroes. And then we have Cho'gall, who's actually 2 heroes. He's 2 heroes, and he's 2 players in one physical body. So technically he's 2 players, 1 hero. How much of a filthy porno title is that? So it's amazing. Like, so he's 2 heroes, right? He's 2 separate heroes. He's a warrior and an assassin combined in one body. 2 players control the hero. 1 player is in charge of the movement and all of the more, let's say, physical style abilities and heroics. But the other person's in charge of a myriad of really powerful spells. And that's it. You're stuck together. You've got a Cho, the warrior. Wherever he goes, Gull, the head, has to follow. I mean, I don't think I've really given the hero justice in that, but they've got their own talent trees. They've got their own 3 abilities. They've got their own set of heroics. Their health pool is phenomenal. I mean, this is different. Like, we've never seen this in any other MOBAs, have we?
No, he's the first one of his kind.
This is
to be honest, in good old Hon, or I think you could do it in Dota as well. The Scylla Bear in Dota, I think it's called, where you got the bear and the hero. We used to play in Hon where we just had one of my mates AFK and he'd control the bear and I'd control the hero. It was really good fun. It was cheesy as hell, and you would always dump mid lane. It was awesome.
But that's not this concept, is it? Like, this is
similar. The bear.
It's similar, but the bear is independent.
The bear, but it couldn't get far away, and that alone was a ton of fun. So this is going to be even more fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, it looks really exciting. It's I can't. Actually, it sounds. Not only does it sound really exciting, but the method which they're going to deploy Cho'gall as well. So you can buy him from the shop. It's going to be buyable, gold and money, obviously, but effectively he's free, isn't he? Like, the way they've done it is that if anyone who went to BlizzCon or had a virtual ticket, I'm one of those people, I had a virtual ticket, you're going to get given Cho'gall, so you can play Cho'gall. But obviously Cho'gall you need a buddy. You can't play Cho'gall by yourself. You need a friend. So they're going to allow you to quick match up with anyone on your friends that wants to play Cho'gall as well. And if you can win 2 games with your friend, or if your friend can win 2 games as Gull, basically, they will get Cho'gall themselves. They will get the hero Cho'gall. And then they can go and do that to someone else, and they can keep spreading. It's going to be like a virus, like a nasty, disgusting, 2-headed, pimpled butt virus spreading through the Nexus. And I just think that's what's the big thing for me? I've given someone else Cho'gall. Well, if I do that enough times, I'm going to get a whole pot of gold from Blizzard. Not real life, in the game. I'm going to get about 2,225 gold or something like that. I'm going to get about 2,000 gold coins for giving people a hero. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that's massive. I mean, that's Blizzard saying, "Here, we don't want money anymore. Psh, take our money from us. This is only a 3-month design process. Our kids don't need to eat." It's, but yeah, it's Benjamin. What are your thoughts on our Cho'gall?
Yeah, I think it'll be a really cool concept to play around with. Like, I feel like in Hero League sense, it'll be a bad hero just because I feel like it's more of a team-based hero in the sense you got to work around it since it's two bodies. It'll be definitely fun for quick match and in competitive play, and the whole spreading it around is a pretty cool idea too. Like,
it's a neat little event. Like, I was really concerned with Hallow's End, right? Like, go and win 25 games and you get a stupid pumpkin portrait. And I was like, God, that's pathetic. That's a really bad event. I thought it was a bad event. Right, win 25 games. It doesn't. Yeah, I was going to play anyway. You're just going to make me grind out a couple more games that I didn't plan to do. Where this, it's kind of exciting. It's kind of different. It has potential to meet new people. If I really, really like playing Cho'gall, I'm going to keep giving keep giving Cho'gall to hundreds of people, just because you can't play them by yourself. I think these are the sort of events that Heroes of the Storm need. Events that make me want to play with people, not events that make me just want to grind out games. This actually makes me want to have a buddy. I think it's really cool. It's Happy Rage. Are we going to see you thrust in some Cho'gall? Are you gonna get a friend, or are you just going to dual box on your Smurf account?
I'm definitely going to give it out to people so they can get it. But my biggest concern for him is that he's going to be. I don't know how well he's going to do against like burst comps and high CC comps, because essentially you're CCing two heroes with one CC. One judgment from Uthas effectively hitting two people.
Yeah.
So
I think
we have to see how it goes.
I think they were saying Fniatch. You might be able to back me up on this one. I think Gull doesn't actually get stunned, does he?
No, he doesn't get stunned.
Yeah.
It's just Cho. So Cho's positioning is gonna.
Don't worry about that.
That dual boxing is an interesting idea. I'm so keen on it. I don't know why I didn't even think about it.
What they were saying at BlizzCon is that you can actually get your mate to disconnect, and the AI is actually really, really good at aiming.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember Dustin Brower was saying that. Like, if Cho disconnects, he's like, well, we're going to make the AI really responsive to your pings. And then he was like, but if Goal disconnects, well, let's just say the AI is really good with his skill shots.
I can see that.
So it's I was thinking about that. It's like, great, you're going to randomly pair up with someone in Hero League. You're going to be Cho, they're going to be Goal, and your intention going to be sitting there going, you should just quit the game, bastard. You suck. John still loves this game. Yes, it's DC. Now I can just wreck face. All the kills are mine.
Love it.
So that's the only trouble I see with Cho'gall is those potential moments. Like quick match, I don't think it'll be too bad because you got to queue up with a friend. But Hero League, got to be in a stack, and you've got to agree with someone to be Cho'gall. And if it goes bad, because let's face it, we live in the ANZ region. Hero League tends to go bad sometimes. You're potentially stuck with a stupid head.
Yeah,
it's my only issue, but that's it. That's Cho'gall. I mean, more was going to come. I can't wait to look at his talent tree properly. Can't wait to play him. I don't know. It's just going to be awesome. I'm excited for him. Just one last question, Blue, and I'll throw it your way. How do you think Cho'gall is going to become a competitive favorite?
As in the fans want to see him played, or as in highly picked?
I reckon let's go both routes, because I've got this. Like, I think people are going to love seeing Cho'gall because he's just a big fat ogre. Like, who doesn't love big fat ogres? We all love the movie Shrek, and he only had one head. Imagine he had two. That'd be amazing. But competitively speaking, is he like? He'll be a niche pick. But do you think teams are going to invest the time to make him work?
Until I'm calling it now. So just so everyone knows, he's going to be absolutely broken, and it doesn't matter whether or not they get the damage numbers right or wrong, just purely because of upheaval. The video I was watching before, it just looks like a cone AoE Stitches hook.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. So he's definitely going to be picked up and played until that gets looked at.
Yeah.
Unless his pretty much one-shottable or whatever. But yeah, it's just going to be so good. And then as for crowd favorite, not sure. I think he's going to be one of those heroes that are really, really fun to play, especially if you got a good friend to play it with.
Yeah.
But he may not be the funnest to watch.
Yep. It's interesting. Yeah. I'm looking forward to him anyway. I
think in terms of design, even his quest is pretty good. Like if you think about it, if you get to give Cho'gall, you get 2,000 gold, right?
Yeah.
So they pretty much designed him, I think, in terms of philosophy of like their hero design is you get someone who doesn't play the game.
Yeah.
You tell them that, oh, you don't have to worry about positioning, you don't have to worry about map awareness. I'll handle all of that. You play Gall, you just nuke people down to death, and then if you give them the Cho'gall hero, you let them finish the quest, they get 2,000 gold. That's enough money for one more hero.
Yeah.
Right. So he's a perfect kind of intro character for people who don't play any MOBA.
Well, I think we touched on that. Did you say that, Benjamin? Touch on that people in other MOBAs are going to be looking at the Heroes of the Storm and going, wow, Cho'gall, that's actually a really interesting hero. I'm going to come over just to play with that. I've got my one mate that plays Heroes of the Storm. He's probably got Cho'gall. Do you think we're actually going to get any new... Like, I think we'll get a flood of new players, but do you think we'll get will we get some League of Legends players sticking around after experiencing this?
Oh yeah, maybe. Like I could imagine there's a few of us out there that don't have friends as well, and you could always just drag a friend over to force them.
Yeah.
Be like, here, come play this with me. I get some gold so I can buy new heroes and whatnot. And then they get stuck. So it's like a sort of a good way to get friends to come play.
That's it. The virus will spread, and we'll get a couple of casualties from other MOBAs staying around.
Not long after Alpha, I think it was, when I was playing quite a bit of quick match, I noticed a lot of Abathur Murky combos, and I spoke to a couple of them, and both times, it used to pop up quite a bit, but both times I messaged them, they were actually friends, and the person playing the Abathur didn't actually know how to play the game. It was kind of their first time playing MOBAs or whatever. And yeah, so they weren't confident in controlling the hero or moving it around. The Abathur would just sit in the well and sit on the Murky's head.
Yeah.
And just aim skill shots. So if this would be a similar thing to the people that are worried about playing MOBAs or worried about controlling their heroes and mechanics, they can just sit there and shoot skills. They're gonna have a wicked time. So yeah, it's appealing to a whole new range of players that could join the game, as well as being something brand new for other MOBA veterans.
So what I'm hearing is Cho'gall built for casuals.
Probably.
Gall built for casuals, maybe?
He's an attention seeker, just to get everyone into heroes.
No, I was obviously just joking with that. I mean, yeah, he looks like an amazing character. Awesome. I mean, that's just one of the cool things coming out of BlizzCon. We've got 2 more heroes coming up. Not this year, probably next year, still in development. We'll just introduce you to him. Greymane, Lord Greymane from World of Warcraft, the Wargrin, the werewolf man, the leader of the werewolves from WoW, basically. Looks really cool. He's a melee assassin and a range assassin combined. And then we've also got Lunara, I think is the Dryad hero, a super high mobility hero. Literally has a 20% increased passive movement speed. Just generally.
I think she's going to be really good too.
She's gonna be amazing. It's bigger map. She might have a bit of a movement issue getting from point A to point B because she doesn't have a mount. She just moves 20% faster. But high mobility is amazing.
She gets a really good spell shield as well. 75% reduction.
Wow.
And then she gets another spell shield at 20, I think. I think that was the big talking point on her, was that high mobility and she's
spell reduction.
Yeah,
she's going to be cool. And then also sometime later next year we also have Tracer from Overwatch coming as well. So that is, and they're just new heroes. I don't think we should talk too much about them because they could change so much. Cho'gall, however, is pretty relevant. He's coming out fairly soon. All right, and moving on, we've also got a new map coming out as well, Towers of Doom. Still in development. I don't think we won't be seeing that this year. We'll probably be seeing it next year. But it's awesome. Towers of Doom. You can't attack the enemy's core directly. You have to use map mechanics to do it. Harry Rage, what are your thoughts on that? People have complained that map mechanics are sometimes too powerful. This is the only way you can win are the map mechanics on Towers of Doom.
Honestly, I can barely remember it. Just too much information's going through.
Well, there's too much stuff. So Towers of Doom, for those still coming up, getting up to date with it, Towers of Doom is basically say it's a no lane map. It's actually a map with your core structures, and they're behind a set of walls that only you can get into. Your enemy can't get into there. But on the map, there's this 5 little, let's call them mini towns on the map, and you capture them. When you control those towns, they have cannons in them, basically. They have a bell tower with cannons, and you use those cannons to attack the enemy core. To trigger those cannons, to actually get them to fire, a temple will spawn every now and then around the map. I'm not quite sure on locations, but will spawn around the map. You capture that, and I guess it's channeled or it's a capture point, and it fires your bell towers. And that's how you attack the enemy core. There's 5 towns, but they're constantly changing hands. So if you capture a town and walk away, the enemy can come behind it and capture the town as well. And I believe there's towers and mini fortifications. So you've got a it's a constant capture point objective map while controlling the activation altar to fire the cannonballs at the enemy's core. Looks really cool. I'd say it's I like it in design. It's a bit different from what we've seen. It's still got that familiarity of destroying the core, but it's all about controlling locations on the map as opposed to trying to push into the enemy's lane. So just Towers of Doom sounds really cool. Any opinions or thoughts on it? I mean, we don't know that much about it yet, and again, it's still being developed, so it could change wildly before we see it. But what are people's thoughts on it? Blue, I'll get your thoughts first on the Towers of Doom.
The release video clip that I saw wasn't very descriptive, so I didn't even know that those are the mechanics.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what you've just described, it sounds pretty fun.
It's just different, and it's different in a good way. It's I watched they had a really good panel at BlizzCon about map design, and it talked about Towers of Doom, how they built it. And so I won't go into it because who wants to sit around and talk about map design philosophy? Some word I can't say apparently. But Towers of Doom. Well, that's it. I mean, Benjamin, do you think this is going to be a fan favorite for players?
From like a casual point of view, I'm sure it'll be fun. But like from a competitive side of things, it could be there's a lot of cheese comps could be ran into it, like a murky Leoric, just like they can constantly run themselves at the objectives.
Yeah. All right. So those sort of could just be a game of one to like chase the tail, 2 teams just following each other in a circle, just taking all the towns, spiral into the temple, right back to circle chasing each other.
I don't really judge it till it really comes out.
Yeah.
Till then, but the idea sounds pretty cool, I guess.
I personally love the maps that kind of target heroes and make some heroes stronger than others, especially the underplayed ones. So yeah, that whole murky idea sounds pretty cool.
Blue's going, we'll go write this down. It sounds like a great idea. All right, Fniatch and yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Murky is definitely gonna be killer in that because I saw a bunch of streams for it, and it seems like obviously this isn't gonna be the final build of the map, but it seemed like the channeling for activating the altar is really short.
Yeah.
So if you're too far away from the map, they can just run in there, sneak it, and then bam, your core is just dead.
So it probably doesn't matter how many you have. You could just have one tower and just focus one town and focus on just capturing the point every time.
Yeah.
And the enemy ain't enough time to respond. Yeah, the little details that I haven't seen myself yet. I only know the generalized mechanics. And final thoughts on yourself, Happy Rage.
As you were explaining it, I was remembering it. Like I could slowly envision the BlizzCon stream at like whatever o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I remember that now. Competitive wise, I don't know if it would be good, but we'll have to see. Could be fun.
See. All right, that's it. Towers
as long as
of.
it's fun, I don't care.
It looks fun. I'm excited for it. I mean, it's got the Headless Horseman as a mercenary on it, right? As a merc camp. That's amazing. All right, and keep going. Like I said, this is just the new stuff, guys. We're not even talking about the fixes yet, which is coming. I've seen a couple of people asking for our MMR chat. We will get to there, don't worry. But that's Towers of Doom. Next, new game mode. how good does the arena look? Or am I the only one that thinks it looks amazing?
Oh, I think it looks amazing.
It looks cool. Am I wrong because it didn't explain this again in the thing I was watching, but the talents, are they randomized?
They're gone.
Yeah.
Okay, the talents are just completely gone.
There are no talents.
Yeah,
So
I'm not a fan
when
of
you go, when you go into the game, the only choice you have is for heroics, and you're all locked at 10.
Don't you get randomed up to 3 heroes as well?
Yeah. So the mechanic of the thing is, everyone gets 3 random heroes, and whatever composition you get will the enemy team will get. So say you get 2 specialists, 2 assassin, 1 warrior. The enemy team is gonna get 2 specialists, 2 assassin, 2 warrior as well. And you can pretty much get. You can see everyone's choices. So there are 3 random choices, and once in a while they're gonna throw in a 10 hero combination. So everyone only has the choice of like the 1 hero. So bunch of Illidan's.
10 Illidan's, 10 Sonyas, 10 Sergeant Hammers has been the example as well.
Yeah, Vikings I think is gonna be in the rotation. There are a couple of heroes that they did say that they were gonna take out. Like there are not gonna be any 10 medic comps, 10 Johanna comps. So the heroes that don't deal too much damage and can't die, they're gonna take away from the rotation.
I remember they were saying that they played with 10 Johannas, and they said the game went for 30 minutes and no one could kill each other, and they just stopped. Hit 30 minutes and they went, nah, this game has given me AIDS. Time to end it. I didn't say that last bit, but that's what they probably felt like.
Oh, they probably said
that. There's a really good question in the chat. He said, so Omniverb asked, how does the random composition work out when not every support is a healer and not every warrior is a tank? We don't actually know. So all they said was that it's just gonna rotate between roles. Other than that, we don't really know much about how Arena's gonna play out.
The interesting thing here is that because you can't take talents, you can't fundamentally make someone a better tank or a better bruiser, right? It's I mean, look at Kelthus. Kelthus won't be able to get chain bomb if he can't take talents. So I think you'll find Arena's going to change the way you play each hero. Nova, you can't do super burst with Nova because you can't get your clones, your holograms doing extra damage. Murky, you can't get some core talents on Murky either. I mean, there's just, and you can do 10v10 Murky. I saw that in the thing. Sorry, 5v5 Murky. So it's I mean that talent thing is weird, and it's not weird. I see why they've removed it because they want them to be quick, sharp games. Games should last about 5 minutes in Arena, nothing more, nothing less.
5-minute queues for a 5-minute game.
Yeah, well, 10 minutes for ANZ.
Well, the matchmaking system might be a bit better in Arena. I mean, they're making changes.
They could just completely ignore the MMR, I reckon.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's an issue. You're talking about
probably affect other queues though when that comes out more than anything.
Yeah,
it's taking away from our small player base from the other categories.
Absolutely.
They are introducing a new matchmaking system, however, coming very soon that we'll get to a little bit later in the show as well, which should make the problem. I think will help a lot with the problem. To be honest, the new matchmaking system. But anyway, that's the Arena. Really cool, really map. It's for people who play other MOBAs. It's ARAM, but Heroes of the Storm style. They've got effectively 2 maps, but each map has 3 different variations. So you've got just textured variations to try and make the Arena game different each time, and it still focuses around trying to bash down each other's core. But there's a single objective in the middle. So there's Garden Terror and a Sky Temple. Right, you can capture a Garden Terror in the center of the map. You can capture the Sky Temples. That's effectively the Arena in a nutshell. New game mode coming. I think it's going to be really good. I think we're going to love it in ANZ. We love our ARAMs, and I think this is really going to appeal to our player base. Or they're going to hate it because that's the ANZ for you. All right, that's the Arena. What else? And I would probably say the next thing is the biggest announcement I feel from BlizzCon for Heroes of the Storm. But after that, guys, is when we're going to get into changes coming this year, what we expect to change in Heroes this year. But this is the biggest announcement for Heroes of the Storm 2016. They are creating they're doing 3 global finals next year. So 3 different global finals tournaments. One year, early year, I guess early, mid, late year, right? 3 global tournaments, highly competitive. Each region is going to get seeded into this global event. So no longer does the ANZ need to go to North America and fight in the North America Championships to go to a global final. We'll get directly seeded into it from our own regional qualifier.
Yep.
I mean, that is huge. How awesome is that? And that's 3 times. 3 times it's going to happen next year. 3 times next year, an Australian team is going to go across to somewhere in the world. We assume North America, but somewhere in the world, and compete on a global stage for the world champion. 3 times a year, boys. Someone is getting paid. That is where this is going at, right? I mean, we've talked about it in the scene, and while money's not a huge motivator in ANZ region, this is money. I mean, we talk about teams not being pro, teams being pro. I mean, this is it. This is the opportunity for teams to actually become professional, for gaming groups, organizations, the XL5 immunity and things like that, to look at Heroes of the Storm and go, wow, there's serious money here. We get actually fed into something. So it's I think this is huge for the huge for ANZ region. I think it's interesting that there's technically 12 spots, but only 8 regions. I think that's an interesting one. 12 spots, 8 regions. So
I'm sure EU and North America get 2. That's just assumption.
Yeah.
We reckon Korea, China, EU, North America.
The larger populated areas get 2. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Well, and that's what I assumed. That's what I'm assuming as well, and it makes sense. I can't argue with Blizzard for doing that. Bigger populations should get that double representation. They've got more people, and let's face it, it's their North America's their home. They get to make the rules. But yeah, that's it. I'll stop talking. I'll get some other people. I know. Let's go with Benji for being a competitive player at the moment. Benji, how does this make you feel? Does this warm the cockles of your heart?
Yeah, it's a huge announcement. It's really good. Like, that's what everyone wants to hear. It's especially good because the ANZ scene at the moment's like pretty dead. So it's an easy ticket for like the small groups of players to go straight out to an international tournament, which is pretty cool for everyone. Everyone's pretty excited. There's a lot of people talking about making teams. The dream team, easy wins, but we've got to see how it all plans out.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it is really huge motivation, right? This gives you a clear pathway. It's if you want to be competitive in Heroes of the Storm and properly competitive, places like teams like Ascended Gaming, even a completely new team that's never played Heroes of the Storm before, they can go. So next year there's 3 events which we can possibly get money from, and we know they're coming. We know how much money they are. It's like a pathway. It's 100% pathway to being an actual competitive professional esporter for Heroes of the Storm. I mean, it's $500,000 prize pool. That's US, by the way. $500,000 prize pool is being offered for the first global final, just the first one.
And that's the international one, not the qualifiers.
Not the qualifier, but that's direct feed in, right? Again, this is direct feed in. Someone from the ANZ region is going to get a piece of that. Now, it's not like Nightclub get a piece of, like, man, I'm going to get a piece of that, and you get rejected by the end of the night and you waste all your money on it. This is 100%, you will get a piece of that if you go across to it. I assume. Maybe they'll give out skins for 12th place. So that's what I take away.
Kaiser Diablo, please.
Get some skin tokens. Oh, you don't have Cho'gall. Here, 12th place. Everyone gets Cho'gall.
Exciting, though.
But I mean, that's it. So, anyone got any other anything to say on top of that? I think Fniatch, you got an interesting question when creating the show.
Oh yeah. The thing that I took away from that was that they were saying a lot about building sustainability, which I can really, I can get behind that. I really want to see the community grow. I want to see more tournaments happen. But they're a bit tight-lipped in how they're actually going to accomplish all of that. Yeah. They're saying that each region, the tournaments, the qualifiers for each region, they're going to have a hand in, right? Last week we were discussing in the show that how are we gonna reinvigorate the scene, right? And here it is. Blizzard is coming in and saying, look, we're gonna reinvigorate all of the scenes. We're not gonna overlook every single one of you guys. We want this to happen, and I mean, they're just saying, they're promising us some stuff, so we have to take that with a little bit of grain of salt. And my other big question is, where's Africa? I mean, that's a big market that they haven't tapped yet.
Be careful with your answers, boys. We can get
That's a potential market that's a potential player base that could increase. There's a lot of questions that needs to be answered, right? Like, what sort of infrastructure should we have? Do we actually have to make the infrastructure ourselves, or is Blizzard going to come in every region and say, this is how we want it to work?
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting thing. So Blizzard ANZ, right? Technically, you could say they're going to call the shots. What sort of event are we going to get? Because they say one of the big write-ups was it will be an event that's sort of tailored to your region. It's like, oh god, don't tell me we're going to do ANZ Royal Rumbles to get into the global finals.
But what it actually says is that they're supporting third-party tournaments and open qualifiers. So basically, it's going to be the same thing they did with ANZ Championships, where they get a third party to organise it for them.
So we'll be looking at ACL.
Or ACL in my events.
Yeah, so ACL hiring Happy Rage to run the qualifiers.
But that's just reading the esports news thing that they did, is saying that it's all going to be third party done, except for the actual championships.
It's going to be their own thing.
Yeah, so North Americans might be, Gosu Cup or I don't know.
It'll be
Kings of the Storm. It'll
be interesting to see, because ESL partnered up with ACL recently, so it'll be interesting to see how that runs and comes into it as well. Because that might we might actually get some really good competitions up and running from it. But yeah, I don't know. It's good for this. I think it's good for the scene. I'm excited to find out what it's going to be like, who the main organisers are. I think as far as it goes, Blizzard contracts ACL, so I think we're pretty safe to say ACL is going to have a big part in it. And yeah, that's it. Woo! Get making team, boys. Got some money on the line. You're all professionals now.
What I'm most excited for is that it might actually, because they're saying third-party tournaments, because there's going to be 3 a year, it might, entice those companies to do more on their own.
Yeah.
As well as, the actual World Championships. So might have more prize money coming in from other things.
Yeah. Yeah, all the third, let's call them third-party events as well. I mean, I know there's been conversations with Does Play firing up some Heroes of the Storm stuff. We're not talking, completely unrelated, but there is other organisers starting to look at Heroes of the Storm. So what another neat way to inject it if there's going to be 3 big global finals. Well, heck, ACL might be more interested in getting on board. We might see more stuff for XL5. The XL5 tournaments might fire up in a bigger way. Community teams might organise their own little cups for improvement. I don't know. It's just so much could happen. Anyway, that's it. That's the big thing for next year. 3 global finals that we get a straight seed into. And good job, Blizzard. I mean, that's great. We've talked about Blizzard and money, and we keep saying they won't give us money. They gave us money. Oh my god! Thanks, guys. All right, so that is, I call it like the big announcement, like the big things that are coming to Heroes of the Storm or are just around the corner. Now, I've broken down a list. I've got 2 lists. One list we'll hold off, and we'll do this next week, guys. It's been a lot of information tonight, and basically we're going to look at tonight we'll look at what to expect before the end of 2015, what's just around the corner, just about to be released, and then next week we'll follow up with what to expect, or what is coming in 2016, I should say. We were going to talk about it tonight, but it's just too much content in one little show to go over. So what to expect for 2015. So very, very minor. Weekly free hero rotations. It's going from 7 to 10. Nice quality of life for the new players. Feel free to jump in, by the way. I'm just going to read these out, guys. If you hear something that you think's interesting, slam us with a question, or slam someone with a question. Weekly hero rotation, 7 to 10 choices. It's coming. Next patch, I guess. Talent gating is being removed. No longer will new players have to suffer through the horrors of selecting subpar talents. They can now suffer through the horror of trying to figure out which talent they should be selecting.
Perhaps they did change the management team. I remember how solid their stance on talent gating was, and then they backed down the teenies a little bit. Yeah, definitely sounds like their upper management have changed.
Something's happened to lift these changes. You know, I feel some of these changes right because they're. I think we might sneak into some talent stuff for 2016 as well. Actually, at the end of this, to talent gating. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Blah. Oh God, no, I completely lost it. To talk about change of management, I don't know if they had change of management. That's where I was going with this. I feel that, you know how I feel they're less pompous now, if that makes a sense. You know, they've done this whole thing like, we're Blizzard, we're going to do this, we're not going to have double bans, we're not going to have 7 people, we're going to have talent gating. You know, oh shit, there's probably a reason why other MOBAs don't do. Oh fuck, you know what? Yeah, other MOBAs don't do that for a reason. Yeah, we're removing talent gating. We're doing this. We're doing that. Yeah, we love double bans now. We weren't for them. We weren't for them. Now we are. You know, there's not to say that they're going back on their word, but they are learning. You know, there's sometimes there's a reason why other MOBAs do this.
I'm just imagining League of Legends if you couldn't pick your skill order
Yeah.
until you're a certain level.
Yeah.
Rage. The more rages than you have now. So talent gains removing. Oh, look at this. Uther's experiencing a very. It's not a Nerf bat. It's more like a Nerf's feather duster. In a hope to reduce the amount of competitive play you see coming out of Uther, the Holy Paladin, whatever he is. His Divine Shield, his heroic, his go-to heroic, is having its cooldown increased from 70 seconds to 90 seconds. That's is that enough to curve competitive play with him?
Oh, they should
Maybe. I reckon this is a good question for Ben, but like my personal opinion is that the fact that his talents are kind of set in stone pretty much all the time, and he's always taken straight through cleanse and straight to Divine Shield. So whilst the other healers make a pretty big sacrifice for cleanse, his is just handed to him.
So
I agree on that.
It gets a lot. It's I was actually playing with I was playing Uther last night, and I was pretending like my cooldown had the extra 20 seconds, and I have to admit there was a lot of times where I was like, wow, if this really was on the extra 20 seconds, that guy would have died. Oh, like it actually did, pretend or virtually whatever, kill a couple of players not being able to cast on those at those times. So sorry, Benjamin, I was just about to fire up.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with what Blue had to say there. That's all.
So do you reckon that the extra... I don't think the extra 20 seconds on Divine Shield is going to be that big. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but any team will just manage that. That's not a problem.
You avoid fighting, you don't force anything, but it'll affect Hero League and whatnot a lot more because everyone just wants to fight whenever they're alive, really.
That's it. And then for the
What's wrong with that strategy?
What's that, one flash heal?
Yeah,
and
one
you
or
get to
two.
respawn faster. So, I don't even think that's even big.
That's right. His trait, his ghost form, decreasing from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. So you're only alive. You're only dead ghost for 8 seconds.
Be an indirect buff at 20 with redemption as well because you'll come back alive and you'll be able to hodge and use your other abilities.
You'll be around faster to use more effective abilities. It's they did say that they only wanted to adjust. They didn't want to. Yeah, they didn't want to do too much damage to him. They didn't want to tank him out. They just wanted to curve him off competitive play. I don't feel these changes are going to do much. Well, what do you think, Happy Rage? You think Uther's cooldown changes are going to really affect his competitive play too much? Or like Benjamin said, people are just going to play around it. You've got to wait another 20 seconds to engage.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did they buff Divine... What's it called?
Storm? Divine Storm?
No. Yeah. Sorry, when they nerfed Divine Storm, did they buff Blessed Shield or whatever it's called? I can't remember.
Divine Shield.
Divine Shield.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
It was with the cleanse nerf, which made the shield seem stronger.
Yeah, but back in the day, like early Heroes of the Storm, Divine Storm was, the go-to heroic. So I don't think Divine Shield's really that bad. I mean, this nerf is definitely worth it, but they should probably focus on buffing the other ultimate than taking away from this one.
For Storm, the reason why Divine Shield became popular, Storm, I think, lost its damage by a bit. I'm not even sure that was documented, but it lost a bit of damage. It lost, like 50% radius. And that was also during a pretty heavy burst meta. So after that, the meta that followed was a double warrior. No, we were kind of playing around with triple assassin, double healer, that kind of thing. So, yeah, Divine Shield started to become a lot more needed.
Yeah.
As opposed to just sprinting in, chunking someone's health, and trying to get the person you're chunking and the healer in the CC. Also, the mages as well. The mages have needed the Divine Shield.
Yeah. So, do you think this is the right path they're going down? It's they're trying to make this Divine Storm stronger. They just not
and sprint. Sorry, he lost sprint as well.
Yeah. Like, to what sort of path? Like you said, like just make Divine Storm stronger. Is there any presence to maybe make the other healers stuff a little bit better?
Yeah, that too.
Or is it literally just this? It's the problem purely is Divine Shield is just so many things. It's a shield, it's a pre-cleanse, it's a get out of jail free, it keeps Kelthus and Jaina fighting for longer. It's it just has
It's just a get out of jail free card.
Yeah. ETC goes in for his mosh pit, and you can throw Divine Shield on him to stop the enemy from stunning him out of his mosh pit. It's so many uses. It's like a super utility, amazing get out of jail free. Shit's hit the fan spell. We're about to make their shit hit the fan spell. Just should they get rid of it? Let's just remove Divine Shield.
Just change it.
It's so versatile compared to the other ultimates. Like you look at Rhaegar's ultimate, which you could almost go as essentially the same thing. It's just to keep them alive. But that's all that can do. Whereas if you get the Divine Shield, you have the cleanse on top of that, or you can use it to block someone even getting into more, or as we saw in one of the games you casted, to collect the Dragon Eye, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
With Monk, if they die, they just get rezzed again. There's no kind of...
And they can't move. They get rezzed potentially around 5 of the enemy team.
That's it.
All right, so that's Uther changes. We'll see how that goes. Next patch, guys. People are speculating the content patch next week because that's when Cho'gall's coming out, and Cho'gall's meant to be coming out in a content patch. So they're expecting these changes like right around the corner. These are pretty soon. And in those changes, I mean, this is another big thing as well. The new stat scaling and increased death timers potentially coming out next week. So this has got a bit of a story to it, this one. This is interesting. So this is blame Cho'gall for what they've done here. So when they're playing around with Cho'gall, they made this abomination of a hero, and they're playtesting him, and they had this weird thing going on where you either had super amazing games and you were 4 or 5 levels ahead with Cho'gall, or your games really sucked and you were 3 or 4 levels behind. And they looked at it and said, oh, that's a bit weird. There's no in-between games. Maybe that's just how Cho'gall works, and maybe it's just poor hero design. But then when they sort of looked at the numbers, they realized that, oh, hang on, we've unintentionally made this sort of snowbally effect. And the late game levels don't mean as much as the early game levels. Like, I think very numbers intensive, right? But effectively they went, if the enemy team, if you can get a 2-level advantage, so level 7 to level 9, at level 9 2-level advantage, everything was like 16% better. All your damage, all your health, everything was quite a large differential. But when you're at the higher levels, the differential wasn't that bad. And it's why you can see so many comebacks, because you can actually fight relatively well between 17 and 20, as opposed to 7 and 9 and going on to level 10 when the heroics appear. So Cho'gall opened this up for them. They went, oh my god, this is weird and wonderful. And so that's why we see this new stat scaling coming into the game. So I apologize, this is potentially number intensive and maybe really super boring, so I'm sorry everyone. So they fixed the stats. They went, right, instead of your stats changing so diversely as you level up, they decided to streamline it, smooth it out a little bit, so you don't gain as much as you level up anymore from your stats, but you have more base stats to begin with. Or they've tied those stats more into some talents. So they've just smoothed out how your stats are gained. But they've said, yeah, it seems to work pretty well. Except that they did this, right? I could be getting confused. Feel free, someone to jump in and stop me. So they did this. The stats were great now. Heroes felt more like the roles they were. Tanks felt more like tanks. They had more health earlier on. Assassins did more damage, blah, 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 blah. However, they discovered that dying lost value in the early game. I mean, dying has no value now, right? You're level 1, you die. What does it mean? Oh, it means you give the enemy like 5 HP. That's it. You don't really give them too much value. And so a kill at level 4 or 5, again, not much value. Your character gets back into the game pretty fast. And with these new stat gains, it didn't matter. So everyone's smoothed out, everything's better, but dying became even less vital now. Because, I don't need to concentrate on being alive, because if I die, I get back into the game straight away. They don't get much experience. I can now fight better between level 7 and level 9. So it was this weird relationship. They discovered this. And so to improve on that as well, they've increased the death timers for low levels. So a long story, very boring. No one's really going to notice too much of a change. But effectively, your heroes are more like what they're meant to be from the word go. And dying at lower levels is actually going to be like a power play for for the enemy team. If you die, the enemy team, you're going to be out longer. The enemy team can push down a lane, push down a fort, get that tower, get that objective, get that mercenary camp, because you effectively don't have as much impact on the game. All right, so I've waffled on for so long. Sorry about that. Fniatch, tell us, is this a good change, a bad change? Are we not going to notice it?
Oh, well, they did say that we were definitely going to notice it, because the split, I think, was from 7 to 9 was like a 40% difference in power, and they scaled that back down to a 16%.
Yep. Oh, sorry, I got my numbers wrong, guys. Apologize.
That's all good. So they described it as each hero has pretty much 3 avenues of becoming powerful, right? You have talents, you have scaling stats, and you have the base. And the way the numbers looked was you have 3, and talents and base are fairly small, and scaling stats dominated the power creep for your levels. And what they did was they just adjusted it so that all 3 of those things will share in terms of the power of the hero. So they're all sharing a third of the contribution of how you're gonna play. And they mentioned that this was gonna sharpen roles, which was it was a bit vague. Like, we understand that it's gonna make tanks more tanky, it's gonna make assassins more assassiny, but for particular heroes such as, like, say, Kerrigan, who is really big for the early game plays, early game power plays, we don't really understand at the moment how that whole sharpening, role sharpening kind of adjustment will play out. So, but I think because they did say that it makes it so that winning games are, it's way more fun. It's way more satisfying to win the game, because you're fighting at 7 and 9, and they're gonna pose a bigger threat.
Yeah, I think they described it as you're working more for your wins now. You just can't get that early game snowball. And if you're level 9, they're level 7, and they get a kill on one of your characters, you're dead for longer, they could potentially push a lane. So all of a sudden they're putting way more pressure on the map. And as a bad player that I am, I've noticed that I'll be in games and we'll kill someone. And it's like, yeah, we've got someone cool. We killed him in the early game. But then at the late game, I look at the map and I go, we were doing so well. What happened? Like, not that we were like 6 or 7 levels ahead, but it's like we were doing so well, but we've got no pressure on the board. Besides sucking naturally at the game, there was just, we didn't create any opportunities to push lanes. this new death timers is going to do that. We're going to have opportunities to push lanes because people are going to be physically dead for longer. I think that alone is huge. And it's a good thing they scaled the stats, because if they didn't, the games would snowball in the other direction from these new death timers. So it's Benji. Benjamin. What do you think in this regards? It's how is this going to change the game for you?
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. I like it on paper if it plays out the way it hopes to be. Like, because sometimes you'll be winning an objective, you get a kill or two, say at a tribute, but the enemy team respawns, comes back full health, and everyone on your team's low. They end up wiping you, and then they end up getting the tribute, even though you guys initially won, but just due to the respawn timers early game.
Yep.
Small things like that. So hopefully it doesn't affect everything too badly and goes in the right direction, and then it'll be really good.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I just think, I don't know. I've got no more to say on it. I want it. I like it. I think it's amazing. I'm really looking forward to it.
Have you tried it though? They did release it on PTR a while back. Yeah.
Yeah. It's well, you can play it. Technically, you can play the scaling now. So remember back in the Lieutenant Morales patch, they released that custom Cursed Hollow map. That's the scaling we're talking about, the scaling and death timers. And we did play it. I played a couple of games on there, and except for poor Diablo, which the scaling didn't work for him at the time, just from, I think it was either bugged or natural how he worked. It was very bad for him, but for everyone else, it was really nice. No, it's when they say your role feels more like your role. I mean, I remember the panel, and that was unintentional. They didn't realize this was going to happen, but if you give an assassin more damage from the word go, what do they feel like? Well, they feel like an assassin. They feel like they do more damage, because they do more damage. If you give a warrior more health from the word go, he feels more like a tank, more like a warrior. He's got lots of health. It's the assassin hits the specialist nearly dies. The assassin hits the warrior. Ooh, he's got a lot more health than he used to. It's that. I think that's what they're talking about, sharpening of roles, is that you feel more like the fantasy you're trying to portray, as opposed to getting into a game and going, right, level 13 is when I get my power spike and I become the assassin. I think that's where we're going with that. But yeah, I really like it. I think they're great changes. I'm looking forward to it. Anything else? Any other statements?
I got a bit of a concern and a hype for it.
Yep.
With the death timers, I'm hoping that it brings more suicidal Murkies into the meta, because he can just come straight back. But at the same time, I hate watching Leoric with a passion, and I feel like just because he can come back sooner, he might be a little bit stronger just because of that.
Yeah.
So not happy about that, but Murky, can't wait.
Yeah. All right, awesome. So that's the new stat scaling. Look out for next week, but it's what we're going to expect this year. So it might not be to December. Who knows? It could be a couple of weeks away. We are talking about Blizzard time frame, man. This could be months, months away. Definitely going to drop a Cho'gall deal. I don't think we'll see Cho'gall and this separated. I think Cho'gall will rely on this stat scaling a lot, because it was made in this stat scaling. All right, and now the last big thing to expect for 2015. This is probably the highlight, maybe one of the big highlights, is the new matchmaking system, or the matchmaking system overhaul that Blizzard are doing. So we have the intention is to bring this out this year, but there are no promises. This is Blizzard. It will be done when it's done. Now,
I mean, Dustin Brother even made a joke on in this stream. He was just like, "Oh, I don't want to get Twitters that you promised, because it's not a promise.
Yeah,
it's their intention to fix."
But doesn't it sound so? I mean, so they explained the matchmaking system. They explained why it's so bad, and you know what? It does. I don't understand why I guess because I've been playing Hero of the Storm, right? But how could you look at this and go, "Yep, that's what we want for our Heroes of the Storm 5v5 game"? So the matchmaking system was just the matchmaking system from StarCraft 2. It was just the matchmaking system. It was, all right, what's your MMR? All right, cool. 100 people just signed up in the last let's say a last minute or something like that. All right, I'm just going to use this sample I have of people and make teams best I can out of this. And it would just swap people until whom the teams were good. And then at the end of the 5-minute timer or the 10-minute timer, it would go, I'm out of ideas, screw it. These teams are as good as I can get. It didn't take into consideration, who you are, or your level or anything like that. And because you were kind of limited to the pool of people at that time, that you were stuck. You were stuck playing with bad matchups, and every time you queued after that game, you potentially had bad matchups. And it didn't care. It didn't care your skill level, or I guess it cared a little bit. It tried to do the best it could. Interesting stat, however, is they reckon that 80% of their games were good, but 20% were bad. I don't know. I don't know if I mean, that's a lot of that's a big 20% of people complaining online. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm not saying Blizzard's lying to us, but I think they're being maybe a little bit misleading with that stat.
I think they're full of shit.
Yeah. Because it was just terrible. Like, I mean, they did be honest. Like, they were very honest. They did say this 20%. We're not saying that everyone experienced 20% shit games. They're saying some people in some regions could potentially experience huger issues. They're just saying this was an average value. So it's kind of nice that they did realize that their numbers were flexible. But anyway, that was the old shit matchmaking system. Here we're going. So here we go. Someone disagrees in chat. Said, no, that's a reasonable statistic. And it probably is. I don't know. I don't understand the numbers. Anyway, screw that, because that's the old system. It's trash. Who cares? The new matchmaking system is coming out soon, and we've only been given very small details, right? We don't really understand a lot of how it's working, but simply all I heard was, what we're going to do is we're going to have a player queue. Instantly, so how many problems are fixed there is that you're going to go into a queue, and if you're the first person in the queue, we're going to take you. We're going to look at you as what you are and go, right, your rank this, your MMR is this. Here's some details. Okay, next person that comes in the queue. No, you don't. You two don't match. Your MMRs are too different. Move them away. Next person in the queue. Oh, you guys are good. Group. Next person in the queue. Ooh, he's a little high. He's not too high, but he's a little bit bad. We'll move you off to the side, and remember, this guy's here. He's good, but he's a good match. He's an all right match, not a great match, but he's all right. And then they shift through the queue like that. So the person in front, his game would get focused on first, and then his game would be made, and he'd go off. Then whoever was left in the queue, he'd be the next one to be focused. And I think that they did talk about there's potential problems for that, and that they are working on it. Are working on how to resolve those, like the only ranked one in the queue, for example. But I mean, that instantly sounds like a better system, doesn't it? What are you guys' thoughts on the new matchmaking system? A queue-based system as opposed to, I don't even know what you'd call the last one, a bad system.
Everyone wants Ben's thoughts. Benjamin's thoughts.
My thoughts. Oh, well. I know that they had the thoughts of doing a similar thing like League, having, bronze, silver, instead of having just ranks.
Yep.
Because currently, as it stands, rank 1 can queue with a level 50 as well.
Mm.
And, that just ruins the whole matchmaking experience for everyone from both sides. It's pretty, as it currently stands with matchmaking, there'll be rank 1s with unranked players. And, as a rank 1 player myself, you'll go into that game hoping to be versing other rank 1s. And then when your team isn't on the same page as you and whatnot, the games can get pretty heated on both sides. So, I don't know how to go about that, how to say it, but yeah, matchmaking's pretty terrible as it is. Hopefully this fixes it.
Yep.
And a good rank system will make the game a lot better for all parties. It's not just fair for the higher ranked people than the lower ranked to get put in the same lobby. No one's having fun at all.
Yeah. Well, that's it. No one's having competitive games. I think it's going to do really well. Go into a queue system, focusing on focusing on one or say two people in the party, and then building the game around them. It's actually a really good system, right? That's that's a clever way to be. It remembering someone and going, right, you're going to sit you here, and we're going to remember you for this game, and then it can draw conclusions. It's not going to, the old system, it's not going to give up, and it's not going to go, I can't do anything more with this guy and this group of people. I'm just going to give up and give him a shit game. At least it's going to say, look, the reason you're getting a shit game is because there's just no one else playing right now. That's the gist of it, is that you're getting this game because it's 1 o'clock in the morning, your entire region's gone to bed, and you have to play with all the people from Africa who are all Grandmaster League, and you're 50, right? This is why this is happening to you, as opposed to the system now, and I'll reiterate it, which is just too bad, so sad. It's been 10 minutes. You still got a shit grouping.
Yeah, I think the big difference in that is that in the old system, the system that we have now is they take, say, like 100 players and they put them in a list, and then they rearrange the list into, say, 10 games, right, from the 100 players, and it's just gonna reiterate through all the combinations of good games until it hits 10 minutes and goes, right, I can't shuffle you guys into better games now, and this is the only pool I have. Whereas with the new system, with the queue, you're not being segregated into little boxes. You get a queue from all players that are playing at the moment, and they're comparing you to, say, like, say 1,000 people are playing the game. You will be compared not only to the 100 that you get grouped in, but you'll get compared with the 1,000 people who are queuing up for a game. So the quality of game is going to depend on the player pool that is playing at the moment. So that's going to be the biggest issue I think they have to tackle in that.
Yeah.
But I think just the fact that they're making a system specifically for heroes, they're not just adapting,
the StarCraft 2 one,
it's a big leap. It's good for the game that we have our own thing, because heroes it's its own game. You can't base it off of existing like queue systems, MMR systems that are already available there.
Off an RTS MMR, by the matchmaking system.
Exactly.
You can't queue.
To be honest, I'm a little surprised they didn't take a bit from what they've learned from WoW, where when you queue for a dungeon, you flag your role or a couple of roles, and then you join the dungeon and can play either.
Someone asked a question about that, I'm pretty sure. It was either on Twitter or it was at their panel. They said, if I want to be a shot caller, can I queue up as a shot caller? And I think the answer was they hadn't thought about it, but they thought that they liked it. They really liked it as a concept, that you could sign up to the match as a leader, a shot caller, or something else.
Oh wait, we actually forgot one big part of the MMR change. It's gonna be per hero. So
see, that's the MMR. That's not the matchmaking system. And that's what they're looking at. That's an possible thing for next year. And we'll go into it. You've brought it up now. We'll go into it after it. Sorry, Blue, continue on.
I don't think I like that per hero thing. Maybe kind of per role, but we can come back to that if you want. But yeah, if you could jump in the queue and see that, for example, you queue with whatever, you pick your Passadar and they pick something else, and the queue says we're the shortage on warriors, and then you could jump on a warrior and see that you're going to get a faster game.
Yeah.
I think that'd be the quickest ways to cut the queue time and get better games.
That's actually pretty nice. Blue, on the Twitter now. Go, Dustin. He's been somewhere getting drunk. Now's the time to attack.
Message PJ on Skype.
That's good. I like that.
My biggest concerns about the matchmaking is that it won't actually affect us because our population is too small. Because the way that they're saying is that it's still going to do the ultimate thing at the end at 10 minutes, where it's still going to just say, sorry, too bad. But with our small population, that's already a big problem. So
I agree.
That's my biggest issue.
Yeah.
Is that even if they change it, ANZ won't change.
I've got a feeling that's going to really help. It's a bit of a weird one, right? You've got two things that suck, the matchmaking and our population size. And I think it's a good step to fix one of the problems. So if the matchmaking is decent, then they only have to fix the population problem, right? Right now we've got the shit matchmaking and shit population. And there's nothing worse than saying to a new player, I should come play Heroes of the Storm. Oh, what's it like? It's pretty good. Sometimes the matchmaking sucks, though. and you're going to get attacked by XL5. But over that, yeah, no, it's really great. But being able to say the matchmaking is really good, and when people come up and say our region just needs more players, I mean, it's removing at least one problem from the equation. I think it's definitely still an issue, but we've got Cho'gall coming up. We've got the big global event next year that generate more hype, more entertainment. We've got awesome ANZ, Kings of ANZ, end of year. God, if that doesn't draw the population, I don't know what will. So I definitely 100% agree with you. Population's an issue, but it's the right track, right? You got to fix something that's going to keep people playing at least.
Another thing to touch on in Hero League is there's a lot of ego problems from the rank 1 point of view, at least. No one respects anyone else in the scene. There's very small groups of friends. It's just so... You go into a game and then you'll already have people calling each other out pre-lobby because there's some...
They first picked Nova. Even though they're an amazing Nova player, they first picked Nova.
Some duo queues out there that are known for trolling. I won't name anyone, but among the rank ones, you just get them on your team and you've lost just because they like to troll or be really toxic. And just with the small population, you already know who's on your team before you go into the game almost all the time.
Yeah, the names are familiar. You get used to what they're like. I mean, that's definitely a bigger discussion for another time, for just another show. I mean, I guess talking about that, so something that they're looking to introduce next year is actually a Grandmaster League for Rank 1. So there will start to be that separation of players from Rank 1, the super good, and just the people who got to Rank 1 because they were carried by mates or they've been Rank 1 for a long time, sort of thing. So that's something coming next year. But the toxicity, that's a whole new different situation. You can give an entire show to talking about not even talking about how to fix it, just talking about where it exists and how to avoid it, let alone how to fix it. It's a super serious question. Get you back on for that episode, Benjamin?
Sure, why not?
I know I've got some stories about ANZ chat I could share, which are shocking. Fucking ANZ chat. You hear about my T-shirt I'm making?
What?
It's an ANZ chat T-shirt. Oh, actually, there's two things. First off, it's an ANZ chat T-shirt that says the banter is strong with this one. That's my first T-shirt I'm going to make. And then I thought,
on your website, mate.
And I thought next year I'm going to go to BlizzCon dressed as the ANZ chat.
Is this cancer?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's well, mate. Your kind is not welcomed here.
Just a fucking Siri jump. Biohazard suit.
That's it. All right, so I guess we brought it up, so we'll end the show up with this discussion as well. So, coming in 2016, one sneak peek. We're going to talk about all the cool things coming in 2016 next week, guys, just because we're running out a little bit out of time. But we talked about per hero adjustment, so this is really cool. Heroes of the Storm, they're thinking about, or they're looking at adjusting your MMR rating based off two things. So one, based off performance. They haven't said how that's going to be affected or how they're going to do it, but they've gone, if you lost your game, but you played a really good Abathar or really good ETC, whatever, played a really good game, that's going to affect your MMR. Now, how that happens, that's a bit concerning. I don't know about that one, how they're going to get that one across. But it's interesting enough anyway. And then the second thing is per hero adjusted MMR. So their example was, if you played 50 games on a hero, you know how to play it. You're better as that hero. But if you only played a handful of games, you're not going to lose as much MMR for playing that hero. Yeah, it's we'll start. Well, Happy Ray, to start with you, just talking to you just then. What about that per hero adjustment? If you go into Hero League, this is something they're thinking about introducing. If you go into Hero League and you say never played Artanis and you pick Artanis, your MMR is going to be less. Is going to go down less because you don't know how to play the hero.
My concern is when new heroes come out, what, are you going to be versing rank 50s? Even though you're rank 1, you're Grandmaster. But your MMR for that hero is 0. So
yep.
Hopefully it goes off of like a percentage of your current MMR or your overall MMR. So like, let's say, you're 3,000 MMR. Rather than starting at 1,000 MMR, you'll start at 2,000 for a new hero or something like that. Just so you're above, what it is. You're below what you should be, but you're not, versing rank 50s, drooling all over the fucking keyboard and shit.
I mean, that's one way they could potentially go with it as well. So I think one of the big things they were looking at is just as just a pure adjustment. So I mean, at the end of the game, so you've lost the game, but that was your first game as Artanis. You only lose 50 MMR as opposed to losing 100 MMR because you're learning Artanis. But if you have 100 games played with Artanis, they go, well, you should know better, you terrible Artanis. Bam, you get the full MMR loss. I don't know, I'm mixed with this. I like it because sometimes in Hero League you get forced to play a hero. It's you're the last pick and there's no tanks. All right, so I've got to play Johanna or Meriden or something like that. I'm normally not very good at that, and even though I spent the entire 2 minutes going, I cannot play a tank. I cannot play a tank. I cannot play a tank. Oh shit, I have to play a tank. I kind of like it from that angle. It's like I'm doing the right thing by the team. And so it's going to make me not be a little bit less punished for doing the right thing by the team. But doing the right thing by the team but being punished.
I always get stuck in the tank role after saying I'm not going to do it. I end up just picking stitches and going for hooks all game, and they can just shove it up. And I told them I didn't want to play it.
Yeah. But I mean that's the potential here. Is that it's really good when you're forced into a role you're not comfortable with or a hero that you don't have a lot of games played on. But yeah, you have the flip of people who do.
I think isn't that just for quick match, the per hero MMR kind of thing? Because I mean you can't really do it in Hero League because you don't choose a hero before queuing up, right?
No, but you do choose a hero when you go into the game. I didn't hear if it was
I mean like when you queue for Hero League, right?
Yeah.
You get just paired with other people before you choose a role. So the MMR isn't going to be based off of heroes in Hero League. It's going to be, I guess, its own separate sort of like whole profile MMR that they'll be checking to pair you up with.
I always thought this was adjustment. So we're talking about the end of the game. So it purely affects how much MMR you lose or gain, as opposed to your actual MMR matching. So it's not going to be like you're a new Uther, we're going to put you up against new players or other new warriors, new hero warriors. It was you lost the game. You played 100 games with Uther, you should know better, or you lost the game. Oh, you only played 1 game with Uther. Okay, you don't lose as much MMR. That's how I interpreted. This is Blizzard fashion, right? This is Blizzard going, we're making change to MMR. Oh, per hero next year. Blah! Can we have some more information? No, we're still thinking about it. And he probably looked at his show notes after the panel and went, oh, fuck, that's not what I meant to say. Shit, we scratched that idea. Oh, well, it's fact now. So, I mean, we still don't know a lot of information on this. We don't know if we'll make it into the design table. This could literally be his thoughts written down on a piece of paper before going onto the panel. But, I mean, I think it's interesting, but I think it's, in principle, it's not good. I think it's an idea. It's a cool idea and it's nice, but I think I don't think it's going to be. I think people can abuse it. You join a game, you look at the 4 people, you go, I know these people. These are all people that I think I'm better than. I'm going to pick a hero I've never played before, so I lose. So I don't lose so I don't lose as much MMR. I think you could possibly open up to that. As arrogance coming into it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you don't want to come up against, you do Team League or something like that.
Yeah.
And, you come up against, like, a proper 5s and you're just with 4 other mates and you're just like, you know what? I'm going to play Murky.
Yeah, quick, everyone, your 1 game played heroes. Time to jump on those ones. So that's interesting. But I like the performance-based one. I think that's good. But I want to know more about it. I just opened up. Anyone else got any ideas or thoughts on that sort of topic?
I'm just disappointed they didn't mention anything to do with vetoing maps.
Mm.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's but what sense do you mean for vetoing maps? Like what, that they're going to make it better, make it worse, seasonal maps, or?
No, as in whenever you queue, you can cut out 2 maps you don't want to play and queue. It's another really simple thing that they've needed and don't put in. It's pretty frustrating.
Because they want everyone to play every map.
Yeah,
True.
but they've admitted that some of their maps have issues and need fixing, or they can't fix
them. No, they haven't admitted.
That's why they said they're taking mines out of the rotation. One of the
first. It's a lie.
Didn't they say for some of their, like, the first map rotation thing, they were going to scrap mines and something else? I can't remember what it was.
Was that a different event, or I didn't see it at BlizzCon, but
yeah, no, that was some time ago.
Yeah, I know they did agree and say that not all maps are competitive maps, right? Not all maps will see competitive play, so they're not against the idea. But I was under the impression that you're always going to have those big rotations in quick match, and they might think about doing it for Hero League, like restricting the pool, because esports may naturally go in that direction, right? StarCraft, you see it. There are maps. You don't play every map in StarCraft. They give you a set
veto in
map,
StarCraft,
and then you also have veto as well. So I think they'll go down that route, but probably more from the competitive aspect than the actual quick match aspect. Maybe, I don't know. It's Blizzard. They just do what they want. They made Overwatch. They print money now. They don't need to worry about money anymore.
About that though. Okay, so like this is really going into like a lot of stuff that we're probably going to be talking about until next week. But with the ban system, they did mention.
Has everyone got 30 minutes? We could just start all the stuff for next week. I mean, we're probably about 1/3 of the way through.
Because I mean they mentioned in the ban system that, look, we goofed up, we want bans here, we need bans for the game, and they're working with the guys who developed heroesdraft.com, and that has veto, so we could be seeing something along the lines of, look, you guys developed this really good system, we'll see that system in the game, all of the nuts and bolts, we'll put it all in, because that's what we're used to, right? Is we'll put in the bans, we'll put in the veto system for the maps, or we couldn't. I mean, it's all really a toss-up right now on what they want to do. But seeing as that they're working with the same people who made Heroes Draft and they've been using it for competitive league, I think we might be able to see it in game. We don't really necessarily have 100% accuracy on, we could all just be saying crap right now. Could just see something completely different.
Well, I remember they're saying they do like their competitive draft. So what we're seeing in competitive draft right now from WCS is what they want to put in the client. So they've already gone down that path. That's what we want in our client, is what happens in WCS right now. So that's on my list of things for next year, is the ban system. And you're 100% right. Dustin Browder said we were against it, and then we're unsure, and now we're for it. And they even said that it made it clunky. It's, you banned a hero, then picked some dudes, and then banned again. It really slowed down the game. But he then said, the competitive players love it, and they think it brings so much extra strategy to the game. And so that's why they want to put it in, is because the competitive scene loves it, thinks it's great. So we will be seeing it sometime next year, in a similar to the WCS form as what it is now.
So yeah, we might see veto there. We might not.
Maybe. Do they don't veto during? Do they veto during the WCS? I don't think they do.
I think what they did was either you pick map or your first pick.
Yeah.
They do it off stream, I'm pretty sure. Or they just do it by the admins.
Yeah. That was a bit sad to look at, though. It's a $500,000 prize pool, and they have people with tablets going on the internet doing the draft for them.
No, that's hipster, mate. That's hipster. I don't know what you're talking about. You should appreciate that, Fniatch.
Oh, shots fired.
No, it's right. Do you see all the Reddit threads about it as well?
Yeah.
Like, that's a shame, Blizzard. Shame.
I mean, at least they're admitting, their flaws, which I mean, it's good. Destin Brothers really, they're a bit more transparent than other, I guess, MOBAs. And I mean, you wouldn't see Riot doing something like that, saying, "Look, we were wrong. We were so adamant about this feature that we wanted, and we're gonna take it away." So
this goes back. Blizzard. This goes back to that change of management. Something's going on. And I'll bring it back again. Change of management. Blizzard have finally accepted their arrogance and gone, we apologize. We don't know better all the time.
Our game is still in beta with
That's
2
it.
suggestions.
100%. But I like the direction they're going in. Like I just love where Heroes is headed in right now. How much time does everyone have? Because I'm just looking at everything we've talked about, and extra half an hour we could do all the notes for next week as well.
Where are we up to?
So a couple of comments. I mean, the biggest thing. Time. It's an hour and a half.
Oh, I mean, we can push with the death recap screen and the new stat screen. We can talk about toxicity around that for an hour, I reckon.
Yeah.
And I have an exam tomorrow, so.
Oh, that's easy. That's all right. Well, that's what we're going with that. So we'll cut it there. That's it. There is so much to talk about, guys, that we are going to split the show over 2 episodes. So episode 16 part A was tonight. Episode 16 part B will be next week from Post-Blizzcon information. But that is it. That's it. That is Heroes Untapped episode 16. Thank you very much for being on the show. Benjamin, give us do a shout out to someone and tell us where people can get in contact with you if they want to talk more Heroes of the Storm or competitive play.
Oh, yeah. If you want to get in contact with me, just talk to my manager, Morton D. Short, on Twitter, and his battle tag is Morton, #1373. He deals with all my RPA.
Yep. Love it. Love it. If that's not professional esports, I don't know what isn't or what is. Blue, where can people get in contact with you if they want to find out about your writing, your fighting, or your loving?
My articles are on the X5 site. I'm going to be doing, now that my hand's almost there, touch wood, I've been starting to play again, so yeah, I should be testing over a couple of days, but there may be a regular stream schedule coming up, so just if you're interested in watching streams or you want to contact me, best place now would probably be twitchtv.bluecasts.
Sweet. Oh, that's good. Blue, get famous. Make this show huge with your celebrity status. All right. And Fniatch, I believe you are also actually a up-and-coming streamer as well. Yeah. Where can people check out your channel and also get in contact with you for more awesome international man of mystery and intrigue?
I think I have to rename my channel now into that. But yeah, after tomorrow, hopefully before next week's show, I'll have a regular stream schedule and my channels. I will update next week when those all go up. But for now, you can find me in game Blizzard, Fniatch, FNIATCH 6540.
All right, sweet. And last on the list, but no least important, is the man himself, Happy Rage, XL5 team manager, event organizer, and let's call him the ear of Blizzard, is Mr. Happy Rage. Where can people get in contact with you if they want to find out more awesome stuff that you're doing or you're up to?
I've actually been pretty more active on Twitter lately, at X5_HappyRage, and yeah, that's about it. Do some YouTube stuff for Overwatch lately, but trying to get more into Heroes, but just gotta wait for these tournaments to start up.
Awesome.
Overwatch. He said it. There you go, Riot.
What? Overwatch.
That's the mentioned Overwatch once on at least the stream. Tick.
Sorry.
There we go. We'll go to him on Skype. I'll grab his IP. Steal his account. Let's do it.
DDoS attack. We'll teach you for playing Overwatch. All right, and guys, I've been Discocnur. Thanks very much for watching the stream. If you want to get in contact with me, however, about awesome stuff, interested in being a guest on the show, let us know. Discocnur@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. Tell me why you'd be a good guest and what you want to talk about, and maybe we can organize it. Who knows? But anyway, you can contact me on Twitter @Discocnur. I have a website, discocnur.com, or don't forget to follow this channel, twitch.tv/Discocnur because I stream, do a whole bunch of other stuff as well, and this show, and blah blah blah, a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, search Discocnur. I come up second or first in every search engine. But anyway, that's it. That's episode 16 for Heroes of the Storm's Heroes Untapped ANZ edition. I don't know where I was going with that one. But thanks very much. It's been great having you guys. Hopefully I'll see you all next week. And until next time, play safe, and I'll see you all in the Nexus.